Hi guys, how are you? Have a nice Saturday today. Welcome to the Fractal Saturday Live. And first of all, thanks to G66 family. And again, a happy birthday to the boss of G66, Jacques Isler, for his recently birthday. So, thank you very much to be here. As usual, I take the occasion when I create my preset to share with you my ideas, and it's like a tutorial, exactly like a tutorial. And it is a great opportunity to have the live stream because you can place your questions regarding my preset and also other questions regarding Fractal world. To me, Fractal is the best modeler in the world in this moment. It is a concentration of the best amp modeling, the best effects, and I'm very happy to be part of Fractal and G66 family. Okay, thank you so much. So let's go immediately to this preset. It is based on the very iconic amplifier, the Mesa Boogie Mark II C+. I remember very well when Steve Lukather, after the album Toto 4, make a tutorial, a video tutorial. I remember we had still the VHS cassette, and this video is very old. Steve Lukather was really young, and I remember very well that he presented his rig based on the Mesa Boogie Mark II Plus. Fantastic amp, but not easy to use. As usual, the Mesa Boogie are fantastic amp, but they are different from the typical Fender or Marshall amps, and we have to dig on the settings, on the parameters, just to understand the philosophy behind the Mesa Boogie amps. Okay, first of all, I remember you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and put a like to the video, and also don't forget to hit the bell to receive the notification when I am on live stream. So let's start from this preset that you can find on my store, as usual, available for Fractal FM3, FM9, AXFX3. Okay, and first of all, it is important that, okay, you can see here I'm working on Fractal AXFX3 firmware 29. On FM3 and FM9, it is necessary to install the beta version of the newest firmwares. I speak about firmware 10 beta public version for FM9 and firmware 11 beta public version for FM9. This because essentially I just wanted to be ready for the official release, and I'm also testing this firmware because I have a big and strong collaboration with Fractal and G66 from this point of view. But for the moment, I don't see any problems with this new firmware, and I expect that the Fractal will really release the firmware very soon. So, as usual, I organize my presets, at least on FM9 and FX3, on two levels. The upper levels is the level where I create the sound, and you can find here all effects that contribute to shape the sound. So you can find the compressor, the volume, the wah with these circuits. Okay, you should know very well these circuits that let me to use the same pedal as a volume or wah, depend of the status of the Amplex block. Okay, on channel A, I pick the signal from row 2, that means the volume. On channel B, I pick the signals from row 3, so on the wah. And this is the circuit that I can decide, based to the scenes, where I wanted to use the pedals like volume or the wah. Then I use the drive block, and I'm using strongly the newest Angry Chuck drive. I love it so much because the sound is really creamy. Try it. And this is the reason that I suggest you to install the latest beta public version, because only in that version is available the Angry Chuck drive. It is very, very nice. Then I have the amp block. The amp block is organized in three channels, three main channels. I show you the channel A is based on the USA Mark II Plus Deep Bright. Okay, because there are different kind of Mark II Plus. You can have the deep and deep bright. I prefer the deep bright, but of course I invite you, as usual, to tweak my preset. And my presets are like a template, and you can modify based on your needs, but also you can find new sounds. So I select the deep bright version, but you can try to select the deep version and you can work. But my first recommendation is to save the presets like I do now, save a copy to an empty slot. Okay, the first empty slot, for example, here, so you can make any modification and let the original version as it is. Of course, if you buy my preset, you have the link and you can download anytime you want the original version, and also the update when I decided to update the preset. So keep the link of my store and save it, backup it, because when there is new update, you can use the same link, because I use I upload the new version on the same link. Okay, guys. Okay. Well, I have three different channels. The first one, it is the USA Mark II Plus Deep Bright. I use it as lead, plus the Angry Chuck drive. Then in the rhythm channel, I use also the Mark II Plus Deep Bright, but with a different channel. This is a big advantage that you can have with the Fractal, because you can use the same amp, but with different channel and different settings. And this is really fantastic, because if you need, for example, you can see the difference on the lead. The gain and overdrive are pretty high compared to the rhythm. Rhythm is not so high gain channel. I prefer to have a crunch channel. But of course, you can use, if you prefer, the rhythm channel with the A channel, and you have more gain for your rhythm scene. Okay, so my preset, as I told you before, is really, really flexible. You can play with the channels and adapt the preset to your needs, to your taste, and so on. Okay, then I have the scene number 3, for example, when I select the clean, and the clean is based on the Mesa Mark IV green channel. It is fantastic clean sound. Okay. Hello, guys. I'm definitely looking to buy an FM9 Turbo. Thank you, Andrew Collins. You are absolutely right. And Joao Santana, I would love to hear more about Red Sound RS12 Pro. Okay, it's a different section, Santana. So we are speaking about these presets. Okay, guys. So I can show you the clean channel. It's really clean. This is dry clean, only a reverb. As a reverb, I use the studio reverb. It's very flexible, clean. You can use it as a funky clean. Of course, I use the compressor. Compressor is the first effect. I use an analog compressor to squeeze the signal and avoid high peak and low signal. Compressor helped me to optimize especially the clean sound. I use compressor only on clean channel. For example, compressor helped me to play the arpeggio. Without compressor, the arpeggio sound is too low. And avoid I have a peak when super clean, very, very nice. Super clean, very, very warm. Very, very nice. Okay, that sounds incredible. Thank you so much, Andrew. Can you show us this clean without a cab? Without a cab? Okay. Maybe can work, sir. But the cabinet is one of my secrets. Okay, you can see on my store the latest preset are based on the Jensen impulse response. Thanks to my friends from Overloud, I have the possibility. My friends from Overloud and Jensen speaker. You know, Jensen is one of the biggest supplier for loudspeaker to any kind of amp builder. Fender uses Jensen speaker for since a long time. Also Mesa Boogie, also Marshall, and so on and so on and so on. I'm really lucky because I know the responsible from Jensen speaker and also from the THU Overloud. THU Overloud let me to create this new preset based on the Jensen library speaker. I already shown how I can do this, and I create my own and custom impulse responses. In this case, I use the Tornado special edition loudspeaker mounted in a 1x12 cabinet. I have not here in this moment, but I have this cabinet designed by my friend Massimo Mantovani from MTech Audio. It is the Italian guru of the for the guitar players, and he designs this special cabinet with this speaker, and I have the possibility to have to pick and create my custom impulse response. In this case, I use this this speaker with the microphone. It is AKG C12, and it is really nice with this Mega. And I can tell you the main part of creating the sound is to match the correct impulse response with the amplifier, amp modeler. This is the main part, and there are no other secret from my side. I don't, as you can see, I don't use equalization, and I don't use any graphic EQ, parametric EQ, and so on. The sound is based on the amp block and the cabinet block, and I spent a lot of time to match the cabinet with the amp to produce the sound I want. Okay, and this is the result. Okay, I can show you the rhythm part based as it is really simple. This is amp block, cab block. The cab is always the same, nothing else. I never change the cab, and the reverb is always the same as. Another important things is okay, the proximity, but also I can show you. No, there is no room level in this case. I don't prefer in this for this preset. I don't use. You know, you can use also the room to give more room effect to the sound. But for this case, I don't use the room level. But if you want, you can raise up the room level knob. Okay, this is the rhythm part, and this is the lead part. Lead part, I switch off the delay for the moment. The lead part is based on the channel, the Mark II Plus D Bright with more gain, as you can see. But also I add the Angry Chuck drive. I can show you what is the difference. The driver don't give so much gain. Works like a compressor. When the sound is really high, it doesn't affect so much the sound. But when the sound goes down, okay, the difference is pretty high. Okay. So the attack is pretty the same, but it is the rest of the sound that is affected, and this helps to have more sustain, more sustain. Okay. So it is a drive, it is a mix of dry and a compressor. And the sound is really, really creamy. I love it so much. Okay. But if you want, you can use also only the lead without the drive. Or you can use the channel B I use for the rhythm and enable the drive. Okay, you can get a lot of tones with a combination of a drive plus channel A or channel B of the amp, and also you can try to check the signal with the green. With the green, this is the sound with the green channel, the clean one, and it is fantastic. In one preset, I can produce 8 scenes, but with this combination, you can have infinite scenes, infinite tones. It's up to you to select which one you prefer. Also, with so much gain, you can also get easily the feedback, controller feedback. Okay, this is the reason that I add the drive block to the lead channel. But pay attention. Maybe if you are in a huge stage with high volume, maybe you can risk the uncontroller feedback. So you can be prepared. You have to be prepared to enable or reduce the amount of gain gain drive on the drive block. Okay. I can see there are some questions. Can you show us how much? I think how much sound with your preset? Thanks, Marco. Sorry, Joao, I don't understand your question. How much sounds with your how many sounds? Maybe I told you can make any combination of the 4 channels of the amp. I don't remember with what is the channel C. Maybe okay, it is another Mesa amp, but I don't use it for this preset. In this preset, I use the channel A, B, and C. And you can use also the C is pair, is free. You can use what is this? I don't know. Okay, it is the Mark II Plus is the John Petrucci version of this amp. Okay, so add the compressor if you want more sustain. Not exactly, Andrew. I prefer on the distorted sound to add the drive block, because the drive block helped me to increase the sustain, increase the gain, and also shape the sound for the lead. Typically, the drive are designed not only to give more gain and more compression, but also to shape the sound, typically to increase the mid-range, and helps the sound to be more, how can I say, more, I don't know the English name. You can go out of the mix, let's say. I don't know, it's not the correct word. I have to check it. Maybe you help me. Typically on the lead you have to rise your sound, okay, and so you have more mid-range. There is more mid-range, most. This sound is perfect for a rhythm part. for the lead. Okay. Marco, could you please explain the design of the post amp effects and how the delay pitch? Yes, of course. Then I just finish to describe the upper level with the amp, the cabinet volume. Volume block is only to give the boost. Is a neutral block, but gives only in this case 2.1 dB or how much you want volume on of your sound. You can check here. Is a super clean boost for the lead channel. Of course, it has to be placed after the cab block, not before. Otherwise, if you put before the amp, you only increase the gain, but not the volume. Okay. 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 Sorry. There is two questions, similar question. Then I put the send block. The send block helps me to wrap the signal to the second line with the return. When you put the return, don't forget to raise up the return level to 100%. Typically, the default value is 0. So if you don't touch this knob, you cannot hear anything. And the lower part, on the lower line, I put the ambient effect. So the effect then that don't affect the effect that don't affect the signal. I already created the signal, and now I give only the ambient, the modulation, and so on. Typically, if you follow my channel, my my philosophy is to create a dry signal, okay, directed to the output. Only the reverb is just only to create the ambient, but delay, pitch, and plex delay, that are my favorite ambient effect block, are in parallel and serial connection. I already explained many times. I also dedicate a tutorial to explain the ambient effects, why in parallel. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time. Please check this tutorial where I explain the reason that I prefer the parallel system. This philosophy is nothing new. I get this philosophy from the past, from the typical Bob Bradshaw rig, from the 80-90 guitar player like Steve Lukather, Michael Landau, and so on. They use typically all effects in parallel, and I use the similar philosophy. So the dry signal is passed from the return directly to the out. There is only the reverb inside, but all delay, pitch, and plex delay are in parallel. In this preset, I use also the flanger, stereo flanger. Typically, the flanger should be placed before the distortion to get the typical Van Halen sound and so on. But in this case, I use the flanger in a different way, in a creative way. There is a scene that I can show you. Okay, is this one, the rhythm flanger. It is based on the rhythm channel, and this Sean stereo flanger is very nice. Very nice. The stereo effects of the flanger is fantastic. difference, if I place the flanger before the typical position, flanger, I can select, for example, the typical Van Allen. Okay, there is also switch off a moment the delay and the pitch. This is the typical position of the flanger, but if you put the flanger, the shown stereo flanger, before, after the cabinet, you can get a really wide stereo effect. That in combination with the dual detune pitch detune, sorry. And also I use the delay, stereo tape delay, in stereo mode, of course. Very nice, very creative effect. I want to show you the clean scene. The clean scene, I have the... Sorry, I have to delete the flanger. Okay, this is the typical clean that I use many times with the pitch detune. Okay, and I use also the clean space. It is the same clean, okay, but with the flanger and also with the Econo Shimmer. Really nice. Okay, this is the rhythm flange. It is the same scene like the rhythm part, but with many effects. Also, the scene number 5, it is the rhythm space. It's also the rhythm channel with delay, pitch, and also Plex Econo Shimmer. Of course, you can also activate the flanger. Super nice. I love Fractal for this amazing effect. This is incredible. And also the last scene, it is the lead space. Okay, it is the lead. In this case, I switch off the drive, but it's up to you to switch on. And I use the Plex verb, not anymore. I changed the channel. As you can see, I use the Plex delay in a different way. For example, Econo Shimmer, channel C, or in this case, the Plex verb to have this sound. if I want, I can also switch on the drive. Okay, so as I told you before, don't limit to use my presets on the scenes that I create. You can also create your scenes. Try to switch on and off and change the channel. Okay, there is other questions from you. No, I don't see other questions. Sounds great, great. Andrew, thank you so much. Thank you so much. On the AXFX3, there is also the looper. Of course, due to the CPU power, the FM9 version and FM3 version are limited. I cannot use all effects on AXFX3, but the core of the sound, it is absolutely the same because I use the same M block, the same cap block, the same drive. And for example, I don't use the Flanger, I don't use the looper, but no, I don't remember exactly. Only the Flanger and the looper are missed. Ciao Mike from Memphis, sound great. Thank you so much, very much. And of course, don't forget to test the sounds. This is really a very important tip I give you. Don't stop to test your sound only alone. You have to check the sound on the backing track, on the mix. Only in this way you can get the proper sound, because sometimes the sounds alone, it is great, but when is in the mix, the guitar disappears, for example, or is too loud, or is out of the context. So you have every time you have to test the preset, as I do on the backing track. I do more. I test my preset typically also on live stage, on the theater. I have a theater on the live stage, theater especially, and in a strong collaboration with my sound engineer, and ask him if the sound is fit correctly, the mix, the needs of the band, and so on. This is really important. For this reason, I suggest you to record, to create the preset and record yourself playing over a backing track like this, for example. I can check this backing track. No, this is bad. Okay, I can select another one, for example, this one. Okay, this backing track remember me a bit Satriani style. Depends. It's up. Depends how I play. I can start with a clean sound. For the first, I have to identify the tone, the chords. D. my guitar. As I told you, it's really important to make this test, but not only play over, record this session. It's really important. Record and listen yourself in a second step. So only to do this, you can understand if your tone is fit perfectly the mix. Don't forget this one. Okay. So I don't see any other questions, guy. And if no other question, I thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget to put a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also the G66 YouTube channel. Okay. Have a nice weekend. Ciao, guys.